Hi! Welcome to Chubs Gone Wild, episode 479, recorded on January 30th, 2023. It's currently 57 degrees and windy outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios. It's nice and sunny, though, but it's cold.
It's 52 degrees. 57. I wished it were
Well,
57.
that's supposed to be what our high is going to be today, but
Oh, well,
I don't believe it.
mine's supposed to be 55.
Well, you're in a different part of the city.
Yeah,
So,
I'm like 8 blocks that direction.
8. Oh, it's Norton.
New
Uh,
York blocks, New York blocks.
there you go. Yeah. Let's see. It's currently 15 days till Valentine's Day. So that means that it's 274 days till Halloween, which means that it's 329 days until Christmas. I miss it so. All right. Well, it's time that we want to be your chubby Valentine, and it's a contest. So to enter, all you have to do is send us an email, and it does have to be an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com and ask us to be your chubby Valentine. All emails will be entered into a random drawing on February 7th, and the winner will get a little Valentine love from us. And you can see that Charles has entered with a
Oh
video
my God, he
photo.
has entered.
Yes. And something looks like it's entering it. No, anyway, but yeah, he put together that photo. It's very cute. So thank you, Charles.
What is that? A little bear next to him?
Yeah, couple little bears. There's the big bear in the middle.
Well, the one that's ready to mount him. That's the cute one.
Looks like, well, that is true, but looks like he's ready to mount the one in front. But anyway, we have currently four entries into the year-end contest. It is currently time to talk about Patreon, which offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sid from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix, Dave, Kingsley, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame and find out how you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Speaking of months, the month of January is almost up, as today is the 30th. And on January 30th, 1948, Mohandas Gandhi, the political and spiritual leader of the Indian independence movement, was assassinated, Lord girl, assassinated in New Delhi by a Hindu extremist. And apparently wasn't a very good day overall for people who were trying to better the world, because in 1956, Martin Luther King Jr.'s home was bombed. And then in 1649, King Charles I was executed for treason after offending his Protestant subjects by marrying a Catholic. Well, what can you say? Oh, anyway, let's see. Take a deep breath. Let go of all your fears and your sadnesses as we do today's affirmation. I allow myself to be still and am amazed by what I discover. Life is just waiting to share its secrets with me. And that's why I'm waiting for the lotto numbers.
I just farted.
And Tom is being still annoying. So, all right, let's get into holidays, shall we? You gassy bastard. Oh gosh darn it, it reset again. There we go. Okay, today we celebrate bubble wrap. Yes, no, nothing? Okay. I
No,
could I
not
did need it.
today.
I did need it. Maybe an Amazon package will come later. I don't know.
Well, I did get an Amazon package, but I don't think it's bubble wrapped.
Hmm. Okay. So technically, are those big bubble envelopes inside, are those really bubble wrap?
No.
They just big bubble things. Okay.
Okay.
National Croissant Day. I don't know the last time I've had a croissant.
I just saw on one of the food channel, they had croissant donuts. That's where they
Yeah.
make a donut out of the croissant, so it's all going to be Larry and buttery. I thought I wouldn't mind one of those.
Nice. Yeah, we don't have butter for like the next week. So
Why the cow's not giving out?
no, you know, recession,
Oh, okay, it's money.
inflation, that type of thing. So all right. It's also National Escape Day, National Inane Answering Message Day. Back in the day, Nephi and I used to create the most inane answering machine messages for him. They were quite shocking. And now let's just hope none of them exist because, well, it's after 2020 and I might run for office one day. Although with George Santos, girl, I think we could all get away with anything. All right.
I had an answering machine one time that I made up that was it was one of those little piano things, electric piano. It's about this big.
Oh
And
yeah.
and so and what you could do is you could speak into it and it would give music to whatever you spoke to. So it was really fun. And I remember I
Really
said
fun.
and I had a message that was we're not home now. But please leave your message at the beep 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 beep. Beep. And I came home one day and had 31 phone calls.
They're just calling for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no messages, 31 phone calls.
I think Nephi used to get stuff like that. We used to record, like, he'd get me to do the march of, do like Jan Brady complaining about Marsha leaving a message, things like that. But anyway, that's fun. Yeah. Anyway, school day of nonviolence and peace in a school. Are you crazy? Also, it's Yodel for Your Neighbors Day. Please engage in this. Yeah. So for those that do not have video, Tom was just picking nits out of his hair. All right. It is time for, what do we have next here? Birthdays! Oh my God. It's almost time for your birthday. Well, August comes quickly.
Oh,
Today's
does
birthdays. Fuck you, Meta, and your cross app shit. Sorry. Uh, happy birthday to Carla, one of our patrons' mothers. That's right, it's her birthday today. Also to Juan. And upcoming birthdays. Happy birthday to Tess and Richard. William, that beautiful William I got to work with years ago. Red, Rick, Michael, Danny, another Rick, Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte Koza. She does those ghost adventure things in California, in our area. Very fun. Also, VJ, that Mark over from the Feast of Fun podcast. Also, we have Everett and Randy. Liz. Liz works at a zine place. She's a zine maker. You ever made a zine?
um
You
I've
ever
I've
read a
been
zine?
I've been in a magazine, but I've never,
Yeah.
made one.
Okay.
Well, I guess do you count Mom Guess What? Was that a
Well,
magazine?
actually, these zines are kind of. I mean, we were the big leagues. We were newspapers and magazines. So yes, you have done those. However, this was these are like the little independent. Like you can do them. You can just take some paper and mock, write up and whatever, and then staple it and photocopy it. And that's a zine. They're different. They're kind of cool though. Anyway, also happy birthday to Sister Indica.
Well,
Morgan,
Indica.
I know, right? Morgan, Melissa, Carissa, Kel, former local theater reviewer Kel Munger, and your friend, Lawrence
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Larry. Yeah.
His
Oh,
birthday's coming up this week.
yes. And I know that you're going to send him a great big bucket of love.
Blood?
Whatever works. He'd probably apologize for it. All right. Well, we did have some things in our feedback, and that includes Sean wrote in and said, watched Gilmore Girls a few years back, enjoyed it, but found Alexis, right, Bledell's performance to be a little flat. Now, I actually had to look her up. So he was talking about the daughter in the show, and I completely agree with you. Just from 4 episodes, I was like, wow, this actress, I hope that she gets better. Yeah, but I don't know. I really have no desire to watch past the 4 episodes that I watched. However, I do in looking her up, I found out that she played a character in The Handmaid's Tale, and for whatever she may have done on the Gilmore Girls, let me tell you, she rocked it the F out in The Handmaid's Tale. Her character kicked some ass. She was really good in that. So there you go. Sometimes it's all about direction and yeah. Anyway, and also Nephi wrote in and said, Matt, I have to say that you and Tom missed the mark on the last advice question. She'd only known the dude 3 months and they're already engaged? Pump the brakes, sister.
I don't remember this.
That was the one where she found that, or her the friend of her engager found or sent her emails saying that she was boring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
I didn't process the part where they'd only known each other 3 months.
I don't remember that either.
Uh-uh. If I had, because yeah, if I had processed 3 months, I would have been like, yeah, you're right. That's like really quick. So interesting. Anyway, thanks for writing in. I appreciate that, both of you. And next up, we have Chub Hugs. Who would you like to send Chub Hugs out to, sir?
Well, obviously, Ukraine, still cold, still being shot at. Um, we still also all the shootings that we've been having, especially here in California.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say especially here in California, because they're all over the place. This kid who got killed by the 5 cops, yeah,
Yep.
that's ridiculous. And don't watch the if you haven't seen the video, don't watch the video.
Mm,
And I'll tell you why, because when you hear him crying out for his mother who was 80 feet away, and it was interesting because they showed the video somewhere, and he's just screaming mom, mom, as they're beating him to death. And I remember the person that they were interviewing goes, well, you know what, when he said mom, his mom didn't hear, but believe me, all the other moms did. You know,
uh,
well, it's just
yeah.
it was so devastating listening to someone crying out for their mother, a 29-year-old crying out for his mother because she's right there. She's right there outside. Anyway, it was horrible. So,
Mm,
um, and I think that's enough. Yeah,
yeah,
let's see, that's enough.
that is enough. All right. I guess for me, just after all that, anybody that needs it. All right. Well, let's move on, and Tom wants to talk to you about.
Well, I have more than one thing to talk about.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. First of all, Nat, did you watch The Bachelor yet?
Yes.
Okay, so
Well,
hold on.
okay. Yeah. Episode 1. Yeah.
But you didn't see RuPaul.
Yes, I
Um,
did.
you did
I,
see
I,
RuPaul.
I was able to catch it. Yeah.
Okay, did you see The Last of Us?
No, I won't watch that.
Okay. Well, last night they had episode 3, and this is what everyone is, standing over the fainting couch
Yeah, apparently.
to drop because it was so emotional. And uh, basically, I mean, it was a story. It's got, and I can never remember his name, but Amy Poehler's husband with the beard, and he's from, all sorts of shows. Um, he's playing a character, a gay character who
Oh,
is also crazy, that lives in his basement and has the top of the house is almost like a facade. And then, of course, what happens is this is one of those where we start, 10 years back, 20 years back. I don't know where it was. It was all over the place. So it's a flashback of him and how one day somebody fell into one of his pits. And it ends up being the guy from the Lotus, the White Lotus,
okay.
the manager from the first season that shit in the suitcase and also ate the ass of the one of
Oh,
the.
yes. Okay.
Okay. So he's the guy. He says ultimately they figured out that they're gay, and then they start doing gay things together. And so
I'm
he
sorry.
moves from the basement up into the top of the house, and they form they have a little relationship there, and it
Hmm.
goes on for many years ultimately until um, one of them gets terminally ill, and and then things happen, and I don't want to have any spoilers here, although I've thrown out a few already, but it's like the only thing, I mean, it's a lovely episode. Unfortunately, it doesn't advance the storyline at all. And my problem was episode 3, and you're throwing us out these flashback episodes that ultimately this better come into play on episode 6 or 7, or I'm
Yeah.
going to be pissed that we wasted a whole episode of no arc movement, just throwing out a nice story. And it's so weird because everyone's going, well, it's a video based on a video game, and I'm like, where in this show is this a video game?
Mm.
It doesn't look like a video game. It doesn't feel like a video game. They don't, unless sitting around and talking about opening up a boutique in a little town that has nothing in it but 2 people. So we have some place to go and shop if we want to. Is something that they had. Maybe that was the build the boutique part of the game. I don't know, but the whole thing doesn't make any sense on why it's there. I mean, nice, nice video. I mean, nice story. It was, I'm sure people were devastated and bawling everywhere because I keep reading about it. But for me, it was like, why didn't it advance the storyline? Okay. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Velma's been. I don't know why everyone hates Velma so much. Sorry, it's not Scooby Doo, and somebody had a
Canon.
reimagining of the whole thing.
Mm.
But what's there is pretty funny. No, there's no Scooby Doo dog though. That's the only thing that's weird. I
Okay.
figured if they have all the other characters and they're just butt fucking them, that
Oh,
we at least would have the dog. I would figure he probably wouldn't be a Great Dane. He'd probably be like a Dachshund or something like that.
a little chihuahua,
Oh, I
little
hope.
scrappy do.
No, no, because then it would be barking the whole time. So, let's see. Poker Face, which is over on Peacock. It is Natasha
Uh-huh.
Leon. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And she plays a character that can tell if you're lying or not.
Gee, that
Can't
sounds like
tell.
it will make
She can't
whole
tell what the
13
real truth
episodes.
is, but she can. If you she goes, oh, how are you doing? And you go, oh, I'm feeling great. She'll know if you're not feeling great by what your answer is. So occasionally she'll have to get you to she'll have to ply you with questions just so she can get you into a lie.
Hmm.
And it feels a lot like, if did you ever watch Columbo's when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Well, you remember
Oh,
In Columbo, what happened was the murder always happens first,
hmm.
and then Columbo would come in and start prying and moving around. And that's what happens here. The murder happens, and then she enters the storyline. And right, anytime she picks up, well, the whole thing is, if she can tell if you're lying. So right away, if you lie to her, she's focused on you now.
Hmm.
So
I
it's
don't. How is this going to make 13 or however many episodes the show is going to be?
well, she first after the first episode, she was on the run
Hmm.
because of the people she exposed in the first one. So she's on the run with a mob kind of, group after her. And so she's got to stay on the run, but everywhere she goes, she runs into a murder.
And everywhere she goes, she just has to use her magic superpower to save the day. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they'll make it a great story. I just don't understand how that's supposed to
Well,
work.
I'm 2 episodes in, and it's very entertaining.
Okay.
And magic superpowers, whatever. I mean, look at the garbage that you watch, and you're talking about magic
Hey,
superpowers.
at least they're, at least the Laura Dannon, she's supposed to save the world, not just run around and go, oh, you're lying. Sorry.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. I'll move on. Let's see. We've got Traders over on Peacock, which is Alan Cumming. It's very much like The Mole. They've got 20 characters. Uh, three of them are traitors, so they kill people. They kill other characters one a night. Um, all the three characters decide on one person to kill each night, and then the next day they put them through a um little game that they have to play to earn money for the ultimate prize. So it's entertaining only because it's all reality stars who are horrible people anyway. So
Now,
that's
are the killers the same all the time, or they choose different people?
yeah, they're the same.
Okay.
And so the people who aren't the killers have to figure out who the killers are. It's just, it works. Um, Start a new show called Lockwood and Company
Oh
over
yeah.
on Netflix. It's like the perfect show for me. It's about a group of teenage kids who open up a paranormal service to hunt down ghosts and stuff like that. So it's very much fun. For me, it's in set in England, so we get some of those old ghosts.
Nice. No, gosh. Never mind. There was a book series that I remember from being a kid that
Yeah,
was
those
kind
are
of like
called Nancy Drew and the Hardy
no,
Boys.
no, no. It was different. It was like one of the type of knockoff Encyclopedia Brown or the something Finders Club or something, but I'm
The
sure this is
Babysitter
not
Club.
based on what?
Babysitter Club.
Never paid attention to any of that. I don't know. That was after my time. I mean, that was way before my time. Yeah.
Okay, so saw two movies. She Said, which is on Peacock, that is about the exposing of Harvey Weinstein and and what he what he done wrong, and the whole nine yards. Basically, it's kind of all the president's men, but now they're going after Harvey Weinstein. So it's um two journalists who are trying to find out information. So they keep trying to contact these women who Harvey has um, done something to, and basically trying to get them to expose that well, to publish something where they can expose him and get him in trouble. basically. And the problem with this is that, in the old days, it wasn't all trying to get everybody on phone. On the phone, it was like going to their houses and to where they worked and finding them at the pizza parlor that's right near their house that they always go to work on their with their computer because they got good Wi-Fi. There's always something like that. Well, this one was walking sequences doing this, like this. Okay, hi, yeah, I'm calling from the New York Times. Yeah, about Harvey Weinstein. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. I mean, there's all these scenes where they're talking on the phone. We don't even hear the other people on the phone. It's like boring phone scenes in plays.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, what's the other person saying? You're not giving us enough information. Do we trust this character? It's so. I mean, it's entertaining and interesting, but it's not all that I wanted it to be. The second movie I saw was called The Pale Blue Eye, not The Pale Brown Eye. That's a different movie.
Different show
Um,
too.
yeah, The Pale Blue Eye is about, it's like 1800s, I think. Basically, there's a military school where one of the cadets has hung himself, but he had been butt fucked at some point. So they got to figure out what's going on in the school. So they bring in this inspector guy, and he's supposed to find out who butt fucked the cadet. And because the whole gay thing is not a plus either.
Right.
Death and homosexuality, no. So it wasn't a very good show. And the twists at the end were like, oh God, who cares?
Mhm.
I'm sure people went, I just went, ugh. So
Let me guess. The
that
twist was
and
it
with
was a woman.
the Oscar nominations, this is something I
Oh yeah.
did, Brian. I broke them down by time.
Okay.
So the best picture nominations are All's Quiet on the Western Front. That's 2 hours and 28 minutes on Netflix. So nearly two and a half hours. It is a German movie dubbed, and it's a good dubbing.
Okay.
They usually do. For some reason, the Germans do really good dubbing. Um,
Very articulate.
on uh, let's see, the second one, The Fableman, that is Steven Spielberg's new movie. It's currently not available on streaming, but I hear that you're going to find it on Peacock within the next couple weeks.
Wow.
2 hours and 31 minutes. Okay. Then you got the Banshees of I Don't Care. And that is 1 hour and 54 minutes about Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Colin Farrell goes to pick up Brendan Gleeson because they're going to walk over to the pub, and Brendan Gleeson tells him, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And that's what the whole movie's about. Okay. Number 4, hour 54, so nearly 2 hours. The next one is Triangle of Sadness, which I hear is a comedy, but it's got to be about lesbians, right? Okay. 2 hours and 28 minutes. It's only in theaters, and I can't even find it in theaters. So, but it's nominated for Best Picture and Best Director, and I don't know what the fuck this show is. I mean, I know Woody Harrelson's in it, and they say it's a comedy.
Ruins everything.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. But yet, why is it here? Everything, always, and all
Everything,
that.
every place, all at once.
Sure. 2 hours and 19 minutes. That is available on Showtime.
Okay.
Talking, Women Talking, 1 hour and 44 minutes. I'm sorry. I cannot believe that a movie called Women Talking is the shortest of all the nominees. But, what do I know? Avatar 2 It comes in at 3 hours and 4 minutes.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
and right now, by the way, it stands as the fourth biggest box office movie of all time, which is interesting because if you look at the top movies, um, James Cameron has three of them, three of the top movies of all times, uh,
Huh,
where and that he's directed. It's
interesting.
Titanic, Avatar 1 and 2. But
Mhm.
what's interesting is there's somebody who's actually been in all four of those movies, of the four top movies of all time, and that's Zoe Saldana.
Oh, Zoe Saldana.
Yes, if that's her name, yes.
Okay.
Because she's been in both Avatars. Oh wait, she hasn't been in Titanic. She's been in both of the adventure movies. So she's only been three of the top four because they just knocked out one of the movies with the adventures, either in game
Galaxy.
or
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. It was either in game or like skull cap, whatever the
Yeah,
other.
I don't remember, but I know there's a new one.
Okay, so also up for best picture, Top Gun, question mark, question mark. 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Tar, which is the Kate Blanchett movie where she plays a obvious lesbian. See, another lesbian story.
Mhm.
A lesbian uh, conductor who's also got something else going on because she's dealing with her biggest symphony of all times, yet there's still something else going on. And there must be because it's 2 hours and 38 minutes and it's on Peacock. And then finally, Elvis, uh,
Yeah,
which is on HBO Max, 2 hours and 39 minutes. A lot of time, people, a lot of time.
they need to be on Netflix so that they can go faster.
Well, what we need is somebody to get me a copy of everything, always all together, all at once, so I can see it. Because I'm not taking Showtime just to get that.
No. Mm-mm.
So,
Yep.
other than that,
All done?
I think I'm done.
Okay. Well, RuPaul season 15, episode 5, we both watched. And this is the one where Amethyst and Selena Estidis, I don't care, both lip synced for their life. Spoiler alert, Amethyst went home, considering that she's been in the bottom for 3 episodes.
She one it was the third week she was not. Otherwise,
Oh,
she's been in the bottom 3 out of the 4 weeks.
hmm. Well, it's just whatever it wasn't gelling, and so it was time for her to go. And
Yeah,
I will
and
say that. What? Go ahead.
well, I liked her,
Oh
but
yeah,
I think her problem was she's just not up to par at this point.
yeah. She needs to go get some more real world experience, I guess. But yeah, I mean, she was perfectly lovely. She just wasn't hitting it. To whereas Selena as titties is talented, but oh my god, I cannot stand her fucking voice. When she pulls that whole it's just like, oh my god, girl, calm down. I have to turn down the volume every time she's on. Anyway, but I'm sure she's perfectly lovely and talented. Who's your favorite so far?
Um, well, they're gone.
Well, I know, but of the queens that are there right at the moment,
Um, I don't have a favorite.
yeah, I kind of don't either.
Yeah,
I'm not sure yet. They're all and Sugar needed to go too.
yeah, yeah. Well,
And again,
I think
perfectly lovely person. But
they just need to not be together because all they do is play off each other. That's fine if you're doing a duet kind of thing. Because the way I look at it is, or what I would tell Spice is, okay, sugar's gone, but remember, you come on the show for two reasons: the fame
Mhm.
and the fact that you're going to become almost overnight a major player in the drag game.
Mhm.
So the further you go and the more exposure you get, the better your bookings are going to be.
That's
So,
true. Yeah.
so just know that even though sugar's not there, you still have a career that affects sugar.
Mhm.
Because as soon as this is done, I'm sure they're going to play shows together all the time. They can
Right.
do a whole act off each other, and that's great.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
and
go ahead.
their lip sync battle against each other, they did a duet performance. I mean,
Right.
come on, they needed to be broken up.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Uh, anything else you want to add about that one?
it's titties.
uh, also, Night Court. I watched episode 3, and this is the episode where they revealed. Oh, spoiler alert! She's a former alcoholic. Hmm.
There's
Really, they're trying to give her depth, and that's not depth. Although I will say that I am totally cool with characters that are, recovering alcoholics, drug users, whatever. That's totally fine. Sober characters are great, but
what
it
about
was so
non-drinkers?
forced.
What
What?
about non-drinkers?
Non-drinkers?
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly fine. I'm, for the most part, a non-drinker myself. I just I felt that the it was forced. It came out of nowhere and it was,
Okay.
yeah. Um and the rest of the show is developing right along, but it needs to oh, right now it needs something. And it better get it quick. So,
Yeah. Sean says I don't get a shit for not drinking.
well, if you went to a meeting, you
I'm
would,
not going to go to
but
those fucking meetings. I don't need those fucking meetings. I just want to chit.
a chit or a chip or a chit.
Oh, they give you the little thing that says, 45
Days,
days.
stuff like that. I
Oh,
had I had one of those once, but it was not for that type of thing.
sexual problems.
No, no, no. It was
Oh,
actually
oh, oh,
for,
oh, snooping at other people's businesses.
oh no, I leave that to you. No, this was for codependent.
Pooping.
It really
Oh,
codas because I had a bunch of people in my life that were like users and trying to overcome it, blah 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 blah. So yeah.
when,
Anyway,
when was this?
oh my
Yesterday?
God, this was 100 years ago.
Okay.
No, no, the users that I have now, I've learned how to accept. Goddess grant me the serenity to accept my co-host. So anyway, so that 90s show, how far did you get?
I just finished the episode where um Fez, is that his name?
Yeah, yeah.
Fez had to or got broken up with by the woman who lives next door, even
Okay.
though she's dumb to do that because he's kind of hot
He's
and
hot.
well,
He
sure he's fun to
That
be around.
voice is kind of annoying, but I don't care. He's hot.
Yeah, did you know it's his birthday today?
No, I didn't. Well,
Yeah,
happy birthday to him.
he is 43 years old.
Mmm, yummy. Almost dateable. Yeah.
Well, he's a little old, but yeah.
For you, for me, he's a little young, but yeah, yummy. Um, well, I finished the series, and since you're not there yet, I won't do any spoilers or anything, but I will stand by that they did in the last few episodes. It really took them until like the last 3 episodes or so before they really made the kids interesting, like at all, and not have the most basic, boring storylines. Um, but the writing for the adults, fun all the way through. Um, what's her name? The grandmother. I can never remember her name.
Kitty,
Yeah, Kitty. funniest shit. Either they are writing her the best lines, or she is delivering basic lines so damn funny. But
Well,
she's oh,
let's take a look at who's the queens of memes, and she is one of them.
that's true. But she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and she made the show.
Did you know that Red is 80 now?
Yeah, in fact, I don't know if you're there yet, but there's a couple episodes in that season where he was actually using a cane when he had to walk, and the rest of the time you notice that he's kind of like sitting down or leaning on something.
Yeah, yeah, I did
Yeah.
notice that.
So
Okay, that says a lot there.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
every time you start noticing things about actors, they die.
like Leslie Jordan, I told everybody really that in this season he did not look well. He was pale. He didn't wasn't getting around real well. He looked kind of like swollen. I don't know, but so sad, so sad. Anyway, and it's even more sad that he was actually getting it checked out, and then it happened before he got a chance. Anyway, so The Bachelor, episode one of Zach, and so these episodes are always this type of episode is always the hardest because it's introductory. You
Yeah.
can't tell one person from the next.
Well, these are the fun ones because we don't have any we're not hooked on any of the girls yet. Zach, I like his voice, I like his chest hair, but that's about it for me.
Yeah, I think he's interesting, but I have to try to keep in mind that he's like 26, 27. I mean, he's
Yeah.
still kind of a youngin', so but yes, his voice and that beautiful chest hair.
Well,
No,
which is weird because they shaved him for The Bachelorette.
which is always so freaking stupid to do.
Well, to me, this is the way I always looked at it. When you remember the guys who would stuff their pants, um, so
Yeah.
they looked good in jeans and stuff like that. Well, ultimately, you're going to have to, okay, if you're in a situation where you're stuffing your pants and you're going out looking to get laid, and then you get the person home, and then you pull down your pants, and they're like, "Wait, what was making all that what, huh?"
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
disappointment. Now, if you're married and you run around and do that, then the only person that's going to know the truth is your significant other, if that's
Yeah.
your thing. And then it's a little more okay, but you got to watch what you're selling. And so by selling that these guys don't have any chest hair is going to be a real problem when the back hair starts coming in too.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's just this. Uh, it's like Lucy. She decided they said we're gonna have you go redhead for this, and she's like the redhead because she was a blonde before that, and she's a natural blonde, and so they had to keep. I mean, imagine a career like Lucy's of getting your hair dyed.
Uh-huh.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of hair dye. And so remember, if you carry on a lie, I mean, if you tell a lie to begin with, you have to keep that lie up. And
Hmm.
that's the reason why I hate that they shave the chest hair, and then the next time you see them, they look like, oh my God, they've got a lot of chest hair.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that was really itchy on day 10 of the Bachelorette,
Mhm.
with electric
Mhm.
razor bullshit.
We're
Hey, who
gonna
else needs their chest hair, toned down?
and we're gonna shave it so we can better stick the mic to your chest.
I
Just
guess.
don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
do
But it's funny because I'm watching Zach, but I'm still thinking Jesse's hotter.
it. Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I mean, he's older and more mature and beautiful, but yeah, Zach is still got a little bit of that young guy vibe to him. But the thing, so the whole episode was fine. There was a couple girls that kind of stood out that were more like the naturals because I kind of feel like they put in a couple that they're like, okay, these would be a good match. and the rest of them are basically for drama. And then I think in the early days they throw in a couple that they're like, hey, you know what? We'll give you a little extra, money for doing this if you stir up the shit. And that's exactly what they did. Well, I mean, not that they gave her money, I don't know. But Madison, so Madison, who I thought was like in her mid 30s, she was only 26. And so she goes over there, interrupts him while he's with someone else, makes a complete fucking fool of herself. Um, and yet, well, I don't actually want to say that. It wasn't that she made a fool out of herself, but she kind of felt like she did. And the other girls were really talking shit about her too. And then she goes back up to like apologize or whatever, and she falls apart. And he basically says, oh, you can go ahead and leave. I'm not feeling it. You're not getting a rose. You might as well just leave now. And so she travels on down the road, bawling her eyes out.
No, she goes walking off the property like,
Uh-huh.
where are you going, girl? Your
Right.
bags are upstairs, number one,
Yeah.
because they place all the girls' bags in the room before they ever get dropped off at the thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. You get dressed at the mansion, and then
Uh-huh.
you get in the limousines that take you out to bring you back. Okay,
Right.
it's
Right.
done.
And
So
and the one with the brought the pig, like,
yeah.
oh my God, we're gonna pay for you and your pig to come all the way across the country.
Oh, she got a local pig, I guarantee you. But yeah, I mean, the ones that are doing silly things at the beginning, I hate that. I hate
Uh-huh. It's
because I
really
know that
embarrassing.
if I was the Bachelor, that would be like. Remember when the twins showed up and started, or the what was the magic guy? Oh my God,
Yes.
out, out.
Or
So,
when she like made him drink some of the maple syrup, I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
oh, the look on his
Hate
face
it.
was not good.
No. So yeah, there's that. And I was glad that Madison left because she kind of after that it's like girl, no recovery.
Well, as she's walking off, she kind of turned around real quick to make sure he wasn't going to go. No, come back. But she
Right.
kept walking, and then you started hearing this,
Yeah.
and
And
it just kind of she kept walking. I'm like, where are you going?
right.
Where are you going? You're in the Malibu Hills. It's not like there's a tow, a car dealership or
Right.
something. You can't rent a car out of here. That you call an Uber. My God, girl, you're a mess.
Yep. She
And
was
then
so
they
distraught and
then
probably
they showed where
home.
all the limousines were all parked down there, and they just threw her into one, and she could cry on the way back
Uh,
to I don't know because her clothes are still fucking upstairs. Okay.
and I
Um,
want and I want to be sympathetic. I want to feel, oh, that poor girl's pain, but instead I have to admit I was kind of giggling.
okay, and the other thing
Yeah.
about this episode was when we finally started, pulling roses.
Mhm.
Did you notice that the sun was coming up?
I didn't until you pointed that out on your other show, and all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even realize that. Oh my
I
God, can you
mean,
imagine an
I
entire
mean,
night of that?
yeah.
Uh,
Now, and this was because here we are, we're in January, so this is probably filmed around October.
mm,
So if it was, even if it was September, the days are getting shorter,
right.
which means that the sun's probably not coming up until around 7, and it was up. It was up, and it was bright outside
Mm.
during the rose ceremony, and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly the same thing that happened on the Flava Flav show,
Huh.
where they kept trying to fix the sound and the lighting problems, and the girls are standing downstairs, for, you got 25, 30 girls standing in, ball gowns, high heels, waiting for him to come downstairs. They would not let this one girl leave, and she ended up shitting herself
Oh,
downstairs in front of everybody, waiting for Flava Flav to come down. I don't know if she went on to another week of the show, but still, I mean, my God, this
yeah,
is and I guess I mean, if you got sound and you got lighting that you got to perfect.
right. But an entire night, and who knows when they began, but an entire night
Oh
of just
yeah,
that type of production.
yeah. What time they got there is actually a really good question.
Yeah. All right. And then How I Met Your Father, season two, episode one. Did you watch that?
I did.
What did you think?
Um, well, the show's really just very simple.
Mm.
You know, it's a you know it's you and I could write an episode in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's just very easy to do. I mean, it's bottom of the barrel,
Uh-huh.
kind of laughs. It wouldn't be a hard thing to do. But it's entertaining. It's kind of like the '70s show, you
Well,
know,
well, actually, I would have said the '70s show.
or '90s show.
Yeah, the '90s show is much better quality. Uh, I mean, I actually was okay. Everything that you just said about season one, apply that to season one, and that's how I felt. With this one, I was like, wow, how could you actually get worse than your writing in season one? I I didn't there was no cohesion. I didn't care. I still can't connect with the lead actress. The side characters are much more interesting, and they're not even supposed to be side characters. It's supposed to be an ensemble. But I like the lead cute guy, and I actually liked the drunk guy that she dumped, who I thought was boring in season one. And I'm like, he's more interesting than anybody else in this show right now.
Well, yeah, I think that they were closing out characters or storylines so we could move on to season two
Now
from
that
season one. I mean, I get that,
okay,
but still, it was
yeah.
kind of messy. But my favorite character is Sid.
No, which one's Sid?
He owns the bar.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I agree with that, and I like the British guy too. Except they just and his girlfriend. Those two were actually my favorite characters in the first season. This time, I'm leaning towards Sid with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Sid a lot. I just wished they would have more character. I mean, more scenes where he's shirtless. Um,
Mm,
but what's interesting is, you know, where he's from.
no,
Yeah, do you remember a movie about a boat, and there was a little boy on the boat and a tiger on the boat?
I heard
Remember
of it. I didn't
Life of
watch it.
Pi?
Hmm.
Life of Pi. Here, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't watch it, but I know which movie you're talking about.
okay, so here's Life of Pi, and
Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. Is that really?
that's him. He was the
Wow.
boy.
He grew up interesting. Huh?
Uh-huh. And and uh um and that's just it's kind of very cool. You know, I'd
Yeah.
like to see it, and which is fun because right now we're seeing um uh Dr. Indy, Dr. Indy. Oh no, look,
Oh,
they're zombie children. What are we gonna do, Doctor? Okay. He
okay.
he's on the he's one of the stars of Everything Always That You Wanted to Know About Everything Forever.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Sure.
Okay.
And he as actually he's the favorite to win the Oscar. So it's just kind of fun watching children actors that can pull it together
Hmm.
after being children actors and not fall into the the Corey's problems with drugs
Right.
and molesters and shit like that. I always get really happy about that.
Yeah.
And I get even more happy when they're very handsome and hairy like Sid.
That's true. Yeah. Um, well, let's hope that that was the wrap up episode and they move on because right now not doing not good. And then Willow, I got up to part of episode seven, so there's one episode, like I have 1.5 episodes before I'm done. It was fine. The whole this was the whole troll adventure down in the caverns, so it felt very uh Hobbit, the Hobbit movies where they go down. And so it was fine. I can't stand the princess. I think the princess and her brother are the most boring, nothing characters, and they tried to make her interesting by being a lesbian, and that didn't work. And they turned her from being a I'm gonna kick everybody's ass because I'm so cool into pining and whining for her daddy, Mad Mardigan, who is no longer there. And then she is the fuck up. She's the one that puts them all in danger constantly with her stupidity. And I don't, her character has no point to be there. And if you don't give your character at least, like, oh, she's there because she's the funny one, or she's just there for the fuck up and she's holding everybody back. And that annoys me. So, and that's that. Do you want to say anything about that?
I'm enjoying it,
Okay.
but
I
I've
mean,
seen what. Yeah,
yeah.
I right away the princess and the prince
Mhm.
are boring because, well, and it's funny because my brother refuses to watch the show anymore because he watched it the first week, and all well, we've talked about this before. All the adult characters are all thou cometh from far away, and this and the kids are going, oh my God, do we have to walk all the way there? Do we
Uh-huh.
need horses? Does anybody have a magic spell that could just send us there? Because I'm tired.
And
And
it's
they,
funny. And then Christian Slater was actually talking the same way. He was an adult, but he was talking all modern. Like, dude. Anyway,
yeah,
and then another thing that threw me was the soundtrack when they're playing like the Beatles and shit.
yeah, the music adding music in like that, I've learned for it not to bother me anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that for forever I was always like, you know, why is that music here? What's going
Uh-huh.
on? This doesn't belong here. And then everyone's like, oh God, what does everything that takes place in, that type of time period, it has to be like a lute and flute situation? Because
Yeah,
that
it
would
was
be
it
really
was
boring.
yeah,
And I'm like, well, not really that boring. It is, I mean, depends on how it depends on how authentic you want it to be. And if that's not what you're going after, then that's why
yeah.
music music doesn't really bother me. It's like when Django and Django Unchained, when Django and the guy he's with, played by Christoph Waltz, go riding off on their first big adventure, and you have Jim Croce's "I've Got a Name" playing, you know like the pine trees lining the winding roads.
Okay.
It's like, okay, that it's completely out of place, but you know what? What the song is saying fits to what's going on in the show.
Mm,
And yeah, I'm fine with it.
okay.
So yeah, I've gotten over that, but I understand why somebody would not, because it's horrible.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just horrible. It's like, great, well, I'm glad that you got the rights to use the Beatles music, but did we need to?
Right, exactly. All right. Well, for the shows that I watched myself, I watched The Real Friends of WeHo. Now, I'm assuming you didn't watch that episode.
No, I haven't watched any of them just because I'm waiting to see if it's just more housewives garbage.
It is. It
Yeah.
is absolutely. And for anybody that likes the housewives garbage type show, you're gonna love it. Well, at least I think you will, unless you're one of those people that are just like, oh, I can't stand gay stuff. Oh, gay stuff is so shit. If you're one of those, you're gonna hate it just because you hate everything gay. But if you like the housewife shit, you'll probably like this. I'm not saying that I wouldn't watch other episodes if they were just like available and free. Um, but I don't have any desire to go back and watch more. Yeah. So,
Well, I've never been a fan of this kind of a gay, you know,
mm,
bullshit. So I that's why right away it didn't appeal to me. I mean, I like um what's his name?
Patrick.
Todrick, but and I know a couple of the others, but I don't care enough to want to, watch them dramatize their lives.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing was is that it was most of them were just kind of like fine and getting along, and you were just following them. And then there was like the one queen who was the one who you thought would be more interesting because they seemed like they really kind of had to fight their way to the top, and they turned out to be the one that you're like, oh, I wouldn't want anything to do with that one. Mm. Anyway, and a lot of influencers, a lot of influencers. Okay, so Call Me Cat. On this episode, Jack McBrayer from 30 Rock. You know who that is? Because I don't. I never watched 30 Rock. Anyway, he's
Um,
portraying a character named
yeah,
Kieran.
he's the goofy guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
also he played a pubic hair in Big Mouth. He's just a very good weird character actor, to play
yeah.
that character that you want something really off but funny. He can do
Mm.
it.
And I could see that, but wasn't really feeling it in this. He's portraying Gideon, who's an Amish man come to the big city of Louisville, Kentucky, apparently. The character is, my notes, the character is stupid and I don't like him.
Is he
Actually,
stupid as a character, or is
the
he just
character. No, no,
okay?
I don't fault his portrayal. I'm sure that that's how he was directed to do it. It's just the character. And I think
Okay.
one of the main reasons is that in this cast, like Kat is the odd one. Kat's the one that everybody else is supposed to be grounded and playing off how she's so kind of nutty. And this completely removes her from that spot. And now he's I'm the hick, I'm the Amish one. Oh my goodness. I didn't know we didn't have to churn our own butter. Oh my goodness, look at there's a store with a tent in it. And it's just like, and that makes Cat into the normal ones, and it just, I think it hurts the show. And I don't think that they wrote him that well either. So I'm not blaming his betrayal. Just that. Anyway, I also watched this amazing new show with Reba McEntire, where basically she puts her career on
Not new.
she puts her career on hold to and her husband is a famous singer and he cheats on her, so she divorces him and moves in and moves her and her mother, who's played by Lily Tomlin, very excellently, by the way, and her two kids in tow. They move from Nashville to Malibu and they meet Queer Eye, Queer Eye for the straight guy, the original versions, Jay Rodriguez, who mighty hot, and who just liked one of my tweets, by the way. And anyway, a whole cast of crazies and reinvents her life and everything. And I'm like, yeah, this is really good. I'm really glad that Lily Tomlin is doing something, although she looks a hell of a lot younger than she did in Will and Grace and Frankie. And then, well, apparently the show was from, you know, 10 years ago, but it's a fun show, and I'm sorry that I missed it while it was out there, and it's fun. And so anybody that needs a Reba fix, go watch it. Although I do think it's interesting that it's basically the same type of character, except with more money that she played in the show Reba. So
So what channel is it on?
it's actually on Hulu, and it's fun. It is well written. It's much better than some of the other crap we've been watching. The
Also,
good
see Call Me Cat on Hulu as well.
Yes. Or you can go over and watch it on Fox if you actually have cable TV, which we don't anymore. So,
Right. Well, that's my point.
yes, exactly. The Good Place, which is also well, this is actually on Netflix. Um, I've heard so much about The Good Place, and everybody just apparently loved it. The one with Ted Danson. So I watched it. It's a woman who finds herself in the afterlife. She's both relieved and surprised that she made it to the good place. But it doesn't take long before she realizes there was a mistake because she doesn't belong there. Anyway, I watched up to episode 9 and I have not gone back. I think that even though it didn't even finish the full season, it met its arc. Once she was found out,
Yeah,
I
but that's not the end of it.
I know there's 3 more freaking seasons, but I'm
Well,
just like,
no. She's not in the good place. She's in the right place. She doesn't
okay.
realize that the place she's in is the bad place.
We'll see. Now you spoil. Okay, now I'll go back and now I'll watch more. Even though I was like gonna chastise you for spoiling it, chances are I wouldn't have gone back unless you.
That's why I did it.
Okay, so interesting. All right. Also,
Yeah, my favorite character on that is Janet.
oh, I didn't think you watched it.
I
Oh,
didn't.
Janet is fucking amazing.
Well, she picked up a couple Emmy nominations, and she's also the star of A League of Our Own on Prime, which if you have not seen, because oh, it's a gay show. You're right, it's a gay show, but it's a good gay show. It's lesbian, and it really talks about what happened to the women who were part of A League of Our Own. It wasn't all hearts and kisses like they showed it in the movie version,
Hmm.
which they didn't want to show that version as a movie version, but they were kind of their hands were kind of tied, and then they threw what's her name, Laverne, no, Shirley
Yeah,
Laverne, threw Laverne in there to make sure it stayed that way. Penny
right.
Marshall.
And
Um,
apparently, I heard that even though she wasn't anti-lesbian,
no,
but she was
the
just very
studio said,
adamant.
well, the studio basically said no lesbian stuff or it won't be released. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, and this is so true. Or I'm imagining it feels like it had to have been right. It had it League of Our Own, but that's why I liked her in a good place, even though I never saw the show, but I knew she was from it. So okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, yeah, I need to watch that show. It's just it's one of those that I know that I keep putting off, but when I get there, I'm going to be sucked into it. So, anyway, Physical 100 is a show on Netflix. 100 contestants in top physical shape compete in a series of grueling challenges to claim the honor and a cash reward as the last one standing. And it is a show from Korea, South Korea. Um, and oh my goodness, girl, you need to watch this. Even though there is a lack of chest hair, there is no
No,
shortage of beautiful men.
no, I plan on watching this. I didn't think it had started yet.
Yeah,
Um,
2 episodes
well,
a week.
yeah, I know, but this is so trying to be the
Wait,
yeah,
yeah.
and they're given a real version of it. But yes, I saw that and went, oh yeah, yeah. The other thing about League of Their Own, I just want to point out,
Mhm.
sorry, is that when the show starts, they're gathering all the teams together and who gets to play and stuff like that. But at the beginning, it looks as though it is a show about holding back the better black female players because of the time period. So it
Yeah.
feels because they had the Negro leagues for women as well. So it just felt like, okay, this is just more of that. So and then all of a sudden you're going, wait, what? This isn't about this isn't strictly about holding back blacks and the time period. No, this is a gay show. What? Where did they pull this out of? That's what surprised me. Every week I'm like, oh my god, I am fucking shocked and amazed at how I didn't see shit coming while I was watching the show.
Oh wow.
And and the just wonderful characters, and it better come back for a second season. Although I don't know what they're going to do.
Mm,
It better come back for a second season because I know that they played plenty more games of women's baseball. So, okay.
good. That's a good review.
So, are you watching that Vikings Valhalla?
Well, Physical 100, just finishing
Oh,
up. It is no shortage of beautiful men and amazing women, and go watch it. But really, I guess there's not much to be said other than it's a competition show and it's got really hot people on it. Vikings Valhalla, I am trying. I watched 4 episodes, and basically, for anyone that doesn't know, because there's like 100 Viking shows out there right now, this is the one that uh, adventures of famous Vikings as they blaze new paths in an ever-changing Europe, which is every show with Vikings in it right now. Um, I was kind of good with 4 episodes.
oh well, the thing is, the thing about the show is the
Mhm.
guys on the show are totally hot, even though they've got buns,
Oh
man
my
buns.
God, yes.
But it's so boring. And then they brought out a second season,
Yeah.
and then I think it got canceled. So I'm not watching it anymore. I never finished. I think I got 4 episodes of the season one and went, okay, I'm done. Okay, that's good. That's
Mhm.
good. Hot guys are not enough to keep me going on this show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Um, I thought I had put on the Trello 2 shows that we found out just got canceled. I found out just got canceled.
Um,
Huh. Well, it's not here, so obviously, unless
yeah,
I put it on one of the
I might have written them down, and then I've already cleaned my Trello from. Yeah, already cleaned it.
Okay.
Because I know that. Okay, what were they? What were they? Um,
Yeah, I wish I remember, but yeah, it was a couple that we follow, and they they snipped them. Uh,
one was that. Oh God, I don't even know what it's called. The one about the witches, the warlocks, and the vampires. They all go to the same prep
oh
school.
yeah, yeah, I
That
remember
got
that.
canceled,
Oh,
so I didn't have to finish that one.
hold please. Anyway, I'm not sure. If we stumble across it, we'll talk about it. It was, the Netflix shows that we've been like waiting for seasons for it to come back. I know what one of them was. It was Ragnarok.
What?
So Ragnarok is coming back for a third season,
All right.
but it is going to be the final season.
Okay.
So I know that was one of them, and then the others we'll figure out. All
There was
right,
another one that was also coming back, and then this is their final season too.
which one?
I can't remember. There was another one because I didn't know about Ragnarok, but I'll keep scanning and you keep talking.
Okay, well, we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. And before we move on, I just remembered a big chub hug that I wanted to send out. Miss Kathy Bacon, who just had knee surgery.
Oh no. On
Yes.
her birthday quarter? That's terrible.
I know, but oh my gosh, I cannot forget to send that hug. All right. Advice comes from Joe Prudy, slate.com. Go check them out. I've been married for 10 years, and in that time, my mother-in-law has become my best friend. She welcomed me into the family with open arms. We travel together, go shopping, cook together. Unfortunately, things have not been all that great with my husband. Rick has cheated on me twice that I know of. Anyway, drinks too much and loves to spend money we don't have. I would have left years ago if I didn't love his mother so much. She knows nothing about our marital problems. Rick and I never talked to her about our problems, and while she knows there are some issues, she doesn't know the specifics. Rick and I have been to counseling for over half our marriage. Counseling isn't working, and we've started to move on toward divorce. I brought up the subject of a possible split to my mother in law the other day and asked her if it would hurt our friendship. She hesitated, then said that we'd probably never see each other again. I was floored. I didn't expect her to be as close. Wait, what? I didn't expect her to be as close to me as she had been, but I thought we could at least stay friends. I really want to save my relationship with my mother-in-law, but I don't want to stay married to her son. Do you think this is possible?
Probably not.
Nope. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Obviously, she doesn't think about you the same way you think about her.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so I mean, it's something that you're going to have
Well,
to
and
do.
realistically,
It
if
may
you're
change.
yeah, but if you're the mother of the person that yeah, a lot. I mean, I've known ones that get along great and still keep in touch and everything, but usually they have kids, so they keep in touch that way. But do you really want to be put? Do you think the mother wants to be put in the middle of it all if there's no grandkids? Anyway,
Yeah.
well, let's hear what Pretty had to say. Maybe, maybe not. Thanks, Prudy. Anyway, it's possible that if your mother in law were aware of your husband's many marital shortcomings, she'd feel more inclined to maintain a relationship with you. It's also possible that no matter how reasonably you behave, how much your husband has wronged you, and how much your mother-in-law and how much you like your mother-in-law, once you and your husband have divorced, your mother-in-law will find it impossible to continue your friendship. That is, unfortunately, sometimes the side effect of divorce. The one thing, the only thing that you can do is let her know how much you care for her and you'd like to continue a friendly relationship if possible, and then let her make her own decision. You can't save your relationship with your mother in law on her behalf. She has to decide whether or not she's comfortable maintaining a friendship with her former daughter in law. Even if you think it's unreasonable, I'm afraid it's not up to you. And it should go without saying that I don't think it's worth staying in a miserable marriage just because you love his mother. The world is full of nice women. You'll find others to befriend. All this and more on the days of our lives. All right. Hey Chubs, have you ever cheated on your significant other?
No.
Same. Hey Chubs, have you ever been cheated on?
Yes.
Yep. Although we weren't technically necessarily significant others at the time, but yes. So, uh, let's find out who's in our lunchbox. Oh, wait, what's in our lunchbox? Have to differentiate, make sure.
Oh, wait, just a second before you go there.
Oh,
Let's see. Here we go. It was I'll find these again. Uncoupled,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
that has been or is not coming back. As we said, the Vikings of Valhalla aren't coming back. It is where's the other one I
Lock
saw?
and Key is done, I think.
Which one? Oh, well, that one's already done. Yeah, we
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
Fate, the Winx saga. That's the one about the werewolves, witches, and vampires at the prep school. That's been canceled. And I thought I saw one more.
Mm.
Uh, maybe not. Okay. Well, there you go. There's some.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, not cool for those that follow the show, but all right, well, what's in your lunchbox? Mr. Michael Sage wrote in and said shrimp fried rice topped with, I think that's supposed to be pickled ginger and
Okay.
hoisin sauce.
Okay, that sounds good then. I was worried that was um salmon, smoked salmon, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah,
Now that it's pickled ginger, well, that's fine. That looks good.
yeah. Well, he doesn't eat animal products,
Oh,
so
that's right. That's right.
yeah. But yeah, pickled ginger is okay. It's not my favorite thing, but I know a lot of people that really love it. All right. This was super. Okay, this is from Mr. Moose. He writes in and says this was super good. Paper airplane bourbon Aperol and mixers. Yummy. Hmm. Okay. Next up, we have how does one improve on a burger? How about topping it with fried onion straws, smoked ham, and a cheese sauce? Homemade pickles on there too, with a side of fries.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Look at the bun. The bun.
I know.
It's like, who doesn't want to eat this? And the fries look nice and crispy on the side.
Oh,
Oh my God.
fried onion straws. Mm.
And maybe a little extra bowl of the uh, cheese sauce. Yes, dipping for
Mm.
fries.
Yeah. And next up, we have carrot cake. And it's
Wow.
a big piece of carrot cake. And this is interesting. I heard just the other day where people were, because of the baking show, or people were talking about all the stuff that they like to put in carrot cake, like, pineapple and nuts and raisins and currants and blah, 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 and coconut. And I was like, what? I don't remember all that on cakes. And I realized that most of the cakes that I get were from the bakery. So, yeah.
And
But
not a good bakery.
actually, the Rayleigh's Bakery over here is not bad at all. They're
I
pretty
know,
good.
but I'm sorry, it's not good either. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying because I mean, some bakeries are better. Store bakeries are better than others. But
Right.
I mean,
Better
it-
damn well be for $30 a cake. And I'm not talking a sheet cake either. So anyway, next up we have made banana bread. First time making it. Has walnuts, sour cream, and butter.
it doesn't have anything healthy.
Yeah, where's that?
Well, no,
It's actually,
that's what he said. He goes, "Look, I made banana bread," and he goes, "And by making it, realizing that there's nothing healthy in here."
yes.
Yes, the walnuts are kind of healthy, but
If you pick them out and you don't soak them for, ooh, I am not a big boozy lover of the booze and booze in food, but there are times when they're a really good like brandy or something can elevate a cake or something. All right, or rum. Anyway, next up, I didn't eat this, which is a shame. Was a dessert of dining companion panna cotta topped with candied orange and drambuie syrup. She liked it. It looks like a really well done fried egg. Uh, yeah, I would try that. I'd hella try that. I don't know. I don't. I
yeah,
don't. I know I've never had anything like that before, though.
you never had panna cotta with.
Mm,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Although recently, I love when I'm watching the baking thing at night, and they pipe these big things of like whipped cream and custards and all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh my God, I want that. I want to try that. I want to eat that. Where is that?
Well, what I love is when they fill the cake with
Mhm.
like some sort of jam or something a little better. And what they do is they put down the first layer and then they ice that. They put down the second layer and
Uh,
they ice it only around the thing, making a kind of a vest.
yes,
And they do make sure that the bottom's done so it doesn't leak into the cake.
yeah,
But yeah, they make a little like a lake of goodness that
I
goes in there. And then
love.
they put the next thing on top, and then they finish icing the whole thing. So when you cut into it, you get this lovely blueberry or raspberry or some kind of jammy thing dripping down, or it could be strawberries. Well, that's kind of jammy too. Or it could be anything. It could be pastry cream.
Yeah, yep. I want cakes like that. I want somebody to make me cakes like that. But anyway. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Moose and Mr. Sage, for writing in with those things. It's wonderful. And if you want to send us what's in your lunchbox, all you got to do is just send it to chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And the same with the questions. You have questions for us, just send them to chubs at, I can do this, chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit zacgrs.org. And find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. Find more about my books over at justkisstheguy.com. Find all our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes, he's back. Yay.
And get us, we have a week left to get those Valentine's Day entries, and
Yes.
this is not time to wait, people. This isn't easy.
It's not time to wait.
You email it to us, and we will put you into the thing.
Yep. And not to mention that it's also time that you need to get those orders for candy to us pretty quick.
What? Candy?
Yeah. Candy. Valentine's candy. They better step it up. I was going to say something else that they say on RuPaul, but I'm like, maybe we'll say that for another show.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I am have been breathless with the Reese's peanut butter cup heart commercials. Whenever they bring those up, it's like, oh, it's the only thing good about holidays anymore is to see which Reese's they're bringing out. Because you got the trees, the hearts, the pumpkins, the eggs for Easter. 4th of July, they don't really do it because it's too hot. But it's too bad. I think we should have New Year's fireworks.
Yeah. Or champagne glasses or something. Yeah. But actually, the breathlessness more comes from just not exercising. Okay. I know, because that's what happens to me.
Well, what's interesting is I was noticing on my phone, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's when the heart thing that talks about a summary thing.
The health app,
yes. And if you look at the health data, it says resting energy today. I have 1,310 calories that I burned resting energy. Now, my active energy, I've burned off 1.1 calorie. But just doing nothing, 13.10 calories or 1,310 calories. So it just obviously tells me that I need to stay still more to lose more weight.
Well, I guess so. I've burned off 18 calories today.
Yeah. What's your resting?
Resting is 1601.
I mean, look at that. What's the point of exercise when you can get so much more out of just resting?
Sleeping. Yeah. Well, I've had 298 steps today.
Oh, mine, and it's weird because mine seems to think that I haven't gotten out of bed yet. Because mine says I've had a total of 49 steps. 49. Come on, really?
Yeah, 30. I think when I don't have my phone in my pocket to do anything, I just take it to the desk. I'll have 33 steps just waking up in the morning.
Hey. Go to the bathroom, you go into wherever, you go to the kitchen, you come back, you sit down, and it's 87 steps. It's like, okay, I need to carry my phone with me more often, and then I never do.
Yeah, same.
Because oddly enough, I don't need my phone when I'm in the kitchen or the bathroom.
Well, if anybody wants to write in and take a number of our estimate, our what do they call it? Not when the combined the estimated steps that Tom And I have taken for this coming week, if you want to write in, chubsgonewild@gmail.com and take a guess what our average, that's what the word is, our average steps for this week is.
Is that our average that actually gets written down, or are we supposed to carry our phones with
It'll
us?
be on our phone.
I know, but I don't carry my phone anywhere. I mean, I'll end the day with less than 100 steps, and I know I've had more than 100 steps.
Well, if somebody actually writes in and says 100 steps and that's pretty accurate, maybe they'll win something.
Oh, I need a Fitbit, I guess.
Oh, my dad got us cheap ones of those for Christmas one year. I couldn't even fit it around my wrist.
Well, you could have just put a rubber band on it so it would, hold on.
My grandmother used to have one of those self-winding watches, so she would just sit. She would look so weird when to people that did not know that, but she'd just sit at the table and just move her wrist back and forth for like 15 minutes. People that didn't know it just thought, wow, that poor lady.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.